Hello, welcome everybody. Hope you're having a good night. Candice Anderson coming to you live from Hiram, Utah. Sorry, just trying to check real quick and make sure it's actually working. Hopefully, it says it is. So we're gonna go with that. Um, if you are joining me live, welcome. If you're joining in the replay, please feel free to still comment and ask questions, and I'll come back later and try and answer them for you if I don't answer them during the live. But welcome. My name is Candice Anderson. I'm coming to you from Hiram, Utah. I do go live every Monday and share some fun projects. Next month is the 1st of March. I cannot believe it's the end of February already, not April yet. Um, and the first week of every month, the first Monday, I do a Make It With Me where you can follow along and make a project yourself. So I will work on getting some information posted for that. Usually it's just grabbing things that you have on hand and I share something fun that you can make on your own. So tonight we are going to be doing a fun fold. I saw this trying to remember Stamping Sunny, something like that. I changed it up, did it a little bit different than what she had done, but I liked the basic idea. So, and I've seen it before. I just hadn't seen it in a while, I guess is the thing. So we're going to switch cameras here and get started so you can see. We are going to be using a brand new stamp set. This is called Moon and Back. It will be available come March, or if you have ever thought about signing up to be a demonstrator, I'd love to have you on my team. If you do sign up, you can choose products, and there is a special, I believe, still going on right now for joining where you can get the Stampin' Positioner that's brand new for free with your sign up, but you can also do the pre-order. As a demonstrator, we usually get to pre-order certain items. So this was one of the pre-orders for the online exclusives. Super cute stamp set. There is also like some paper that kind of goes with it. I don't have it yet. It's on my order that's coming. So anyway, some of the other things that I'm using, this is the Spotlight in Nature uh, dies, and then the stylish shape dies. I I can't say enough. You really need these ones. You've seen me use them tons if you've watched before, but I'm using this little circle and the circle in here. Now you could use just one or the other. I did use both for my project that we are going to make today. And first off, I'm going to show you this fun little thing that we had here. I have it partway done, but I'm going to show you how I did it. And I'm simply just taking our Simply Scored tool here. Now you can use this one here. It's just going to take longer because you have to score, 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 score. I'm taking my small end on here and I just scored every half of an inch. That's why I said this one's a lot faster to use to do it on. And I'm not going to completely finish it because it does take a while, but I wanted to give you kind of a quick idea of how this is done. It doesn't take a long while, but it's just a little bit time consuming. And so then you're just going to fold these essentially back and forth until you get the finished one. And then I glued these two together. And the idea is we're going to push this down. So I did it 3/4 of an inch by 11 inches. Sometimes you just going to play with the size a little bit to figure out what you want. And so I have the two different die cuts that I showed you. And again, you could use just one or the other. It's not as big of a deal either way, but I am going to put a bunch of glue on this one, like so. And then I want this on this back side. I'm just going to put a bunch of glue on that one. And then I'm going to essentially squish this down onto here and kind of hold it. And we can let it go out a little bit. It does not have to be like perfect. If you do it, if you do it a little bit bigger, you can squish it till it goes clear in. Kind of up to you. And I'm doing this first, so hopefully it can sit and what's the word I'm looking for? It can just solidify, I guess, and hold it long enough till it actually stays. Sometimes it is easier if it's the size that you need it, just because you can get it the perfect circle a little bit better. But I didn't want to play around with the different sizes. So I kind of just went smaller and then I would play with it on here. And then we're going to put this one on the top. And I'm doing it partly to give it a little bit of additional like thickness and dimension, and partly just for kind of the fun look. See if I can pull that up so you can really see what that looks like. We've had different dies that could do it, but really you can simply do it with a simply scored and make that fun little rosette. Backside, it's not perfect. I'm more worried about the front side as far as that part goes. And we're going to set that aside. And then we are going to grab our, we're going to start with our crushed curry. Now, one thing I did do is when I was picking my colors, I ended up picking different ink colors than I picked for my base colors. And that's because I wanted my ink to pop off just a little bit more, I guess is the right word for that. And we're going to take this cute little moon here. But I wanted them darker, so I went with a darker ink. Then I went with the, sorry, got a little something on that. Then I went with my cardstock color. I'm going to stamp that nice and good. So one thing to be very aware of, so this one here, it's bigger than what I decided I wanted. I'm using my 2-inch punch. I did play around with cutting it here. So this one is cutting it out with a die. But this was bigger than what I wanted for my project. So I decided to go a little bit different. And I'm going to put this on in here, and I'm going to get rid of the little white on here. So I'm going to punch it so it's just inside that. And I'm getting more of the moon. Now I could have done it and got a lot more of the moon, but I want room to stamp in there. And I could have stamped first. I've done it both ways. Either one works. And I'm going to stamp. This is so cute. It says, "You're out of this world." There's another saying, "Love you to the moon and back." And they both fit right in this little moon. So now we have that. I'm going to leave these here for just a second. And I've got these couple of little strips here. So I have got Daffodil Delight. And again, I am stamping in crushed curry. And I put 3 of these stamps, just kind of lined them up on the stamp together so I could stamp them kind of all at once. And it's the kind of different little moon and stars, which I thought worked really well on the yellow here. And I'm just kind of, I guess, making my own little DSP in a way, but it's not colored. It's just kind of a tone on tone. And we're just going to stamp around on there. And then I've got, this one is, what color did I do it? Poppy Parade. But I am going to stamp in real red. And I did try stamping the same color on there, and it just didn't pop off as much. So I went with a bolder ink color, and that's one thing I love about our inks is we can actually do that. We can go with different ones. Hello, Betty. Welcome. It's nice to have you. It's been a while. Are you getting all the crazy snow out there? We finally got snow. All right. I think that's the only time no, I am going to use that one. That's okay. We'll move it out of the way. Okay, so got too much going on here. I'm going to move some things out of the way here. So now I have kind of all my pieces here. We're going to grab our cutting and scoring. And I have a piece of 8.5 by 11 that I've cut 4 1/4 by 11. And I am going to score it at my standard 5.5. And then I am going to put it right here. And I am going to cut 1.5 inches. I think 1.5 inches. I better double check. Yep, 1.5 inches. So the original one that I saw, they had folded this over, and I decided to cut it off. You actually could kind of do it either way, depending on what you wanted to do. If it was folded over, you could put a ribbon behind it to hold this together instead of the tear and tape like I'm going to use. But in fact, the original one I had seen had ribbon that went around it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up though, and I am going to grab my little spaceship and planet. And again, I've just done the two of them randomly on here. I'm going to do this. And I'm going quite a ways down here, and you will see why here in a minute. So even though this folds up and it's going under, I want it to go down further. That should be more than good. All right. And then I'm going to do this little guy along the front. I'm going to stamp 3, 2, 1, blast off. Such a cute little set. My grandson would love this. He is 100% into spaceships and all of that kind of stuff. He just thinks they are so cool. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is this one is going to go in here and it's going to pull out with this on it. So I kind of need to figure out where I want this roughly. And we are going to just punch a hole. And this is the reason that I stamped further down right there, is because when that pulls out, I want you to be able to see that. All right. So on this one here, we are going to stamp our little cute spaceman down in this corner here. And then we are going to stamp some of the little stars along here. And I told you I did need that. I'm going to close this one. And maybe I'll close that one. All right, one more. We're going to grab our real red and we're just going to stamp happy birthday. All right, now we can put this together. I'm going to add some adhesive, and we're going to put this one on here. Now on this one, I'm going to put these across here. So I'm going to have to punch this again, but punching through 2 layers, I discovered was a little bit trickier. So this time I decided I was going to try and punch it first. So we're going to put this one across here. And then we're going to add a little black one right here. And we might need just a little bit more glue. And then we'll add our little hearts along here. And then I'm just going to hurry and move it over to my paper trimmer. Guess I could have used the one that's sitting right here, but that's okay. So I just trimmed that off. The first time I made it, I cut them all to size, and then they didn't fit quite the way I wanted them to. So this time I'm like, I'm going to cut them bigger and then cut them across. So the one last thing I want to do, I could use this at the full width, but just because I wanted to make sure, well, we're probably okay. I just don't want to hit the edge, so I'm going to do it the way I did it before. So I'm going to rip off a piece, and we're not going all the way up. We're only going on this part here, and I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm just going to cut this in half so that it's not quite as thick. Like I said, it does fit. You could also do the ribbon around it to close it, or you could make the back, this one, a little bit smaller, but I chose to just cut this in half because we just want to keep it closed. That's kind of the main thing. Now, if you wanted to do something fun, you could do this one so it folds in half. So when you pull it up, you could have like a little piece across here, or you could have taken this and gone across it and made a little pocket so you could put a gift card in it. So another fun idea. But now we have this here that we need to punch out. So we're just going to line that back up and punch it out. And that way I'm only punching through 1 layer instead of 2. So it's not quite as rough. And then we're going to close this up. And we're going to slide this in here. And now to finish it off, we've got our little rosette thing here. And we're going to add some dimensionals once we have this in place here. And this is going to make it easier to get a hold of it, but also make sure that it's popped up off of the little thing. And we're just going to put it about right there. And we'll add some sticky to this, maybe, and stick it right here. And final touch, I have some black and white baker's twine, and we're going to just do a little bow. Maybe. It's always easier to do it when you're like not on camera, right? Looks like you're having a rough winter. I have heard that back east, we've had hardly nothing. Record warm days. It was 50 degrees today. We did get a storm last week finally, but it's been very lacking in snow and kind of the opposite of what we're used to. All right, there we go. And we're going to trim this. And we'll grab a little mini glue dot and just attach that and put it right here. And there we go. We have our finished card. And how cute is this? This little pulls out and you have the little happy birthday and slides back in. Now, I do have one other sample to show you. So there's my original one on that one. But this is going the opposite direction. I didn't do the rosette on this one. Not quite as much room. Went more full size on that one. But again, cute little birthday card that you can make. Super simple and easy, fun way to do um, a fun fold card. So you can see this one, I popped the rosette out a lot more. It just kind of depends on what you want. Kind of lift that up so you can see it a little bit better. That's the thicker rosette. That's a little bit smaller one. And that's not using one at all. So it just depends on kind of what look you want, but lots of fun ideas. This one here, I cut it out with the die cut, and I went a little bit bigger. So when you, or I went the same size. So when it slides down in, it kind of doesn't cover it up completely. So I did learn doing a little bit smaller one, which is what I've done with this. Works a little bit better than the bigger one. So a couple of tips and tricks that I did learn in doing it. This one here, you can see I did cut it down smaller because I used the full size and I liked the little bit bigger card. So on this one, I went with the little bit bigger card, but still super cute, fun, simple fun fold that you can do and share. And oh, thank you, Betty. I'm going to switch cameras here again. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Be sure to check out all the information on my blog, hopefully, and get these posted with more information and cutting dimensions and stuff like that for you. Lots of other projects on there, and you can shop anytime at candiceanderson.stampinup.net or check out my blog at stampinwithcandice.com. I will see you again next week. I also should have a new episode of Scrapped coming this week, so watch for that as well. And be sure to check out my friends' episodes. So we'll see ya. Thanks again for joining me. It was great to chat with you for a minute, Betty. Have a great day. Bye bye.